Wait for it.
Says it's streaming live on Facebook.
Hold on. It says down here that it's preparing to stream live. Now, if everybody's watching this, all right, now we're officially live on Facebook.
Houston, we have contact.
You know, it's super funny. It feels like one of those political things where they have the microphone on afterwards and they say something really terrible, and then oh crap, microphone's
Nobody
off.
needs to hear me peeing. Thank you.
I know. Because whenever I connect Facebook to Zoom, like we're doing now, it always a little meter goes across and says wait for it. But then on the Zoom thing, it says you're live. So I'm going, who do I believe? I don't know who to believe anymore. Anyways, Rebecca, welcome to the show.
Mark.
Now, we wanted to talk about when you originally you came onto Facebook, onto the Brand DIY group, and I said, what do I do first? Do I do the brand? Do I do the story? What do I do first? And that is kind of the lead in to a really big conversation that we had. And that is what I want to reprise here. So brand versus story is just a metaphor for the confusing sort of variety of things that we can do today. So give us just a little bit of background. Social media, cooking, give us a background.
Okay, so here's what's happening with me. I have a new, I'm working on a new website. Not working on a new website. Sorry, that's a lie. I have a website, but we
can't have lies. It's like Commander Snow said to Katniss, I think it would be better if we stopped lying.
Okay, I have a website, not a lie. And I'm redoing the website, also not a lie. So as I'm redoing the website, basically the website is a website that I started more or less like as a passion project and on a whim. So when I started it, I wasn't thinking about branding. I was just thinking, I'm going to do this thing because it's fun and I like to do it. You know, now it's 10 years later and it's turning into something. It's turning into a business. It's turning into something.
This is all the cooking stuff.
Yeah. And so I'm like, because I'm selling cookbooks and, you know, I'm actually making money at this. And so I'm like, I should maybe have a real website, like with an actual brand and that kind of thing. And so this is sort of this process that I'm going through as I'm redesigning my website. I'm also looking at, for the first time, creating a brand for my cooking empire / business, whatever it is, right? And so one of the things I'm doing is I'm going for a photo shoot to get new headshots done. I'm doing that on Sunday. And I was like, and then I started thinking, I was like, okay, but which comes first? Like, do I do the headshots? Do I do like the brand story first, like the logos and the colors and the fonts and all that kind of stuff? And I just started to get really in my head about it. It was like, help me, Mark.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you and I just talked about this because at 8 o'clock this morning, half an hour before you and I got on this live stream, I was putting an email together to one of my clients and saying, you know what, the problem has been with us is that we have done all the things that people or that the powers that be believe are the right things to do. And what we've seen is sort of a diluted effort that raises awareness. But awareness, I can't eat awareness. I eat sales. You need to sell stuff. And so I said, better late than never. I have decided to focus on focus and commit to stuff where I can shorten the distance between I talk to you and you buy stuff. And it is that simple. And it has always been that simple. But the problem today, back in the 1969, Al Reese, Jack Trout wrote a book called Positioning. You know this.
Okay.
And in Positioning, they said that there is no way that people can concentrate on all the messages that are out there. And that was at a time when people were being exposed to about 500 ad messages a day, 1969, which to them was just bombastic.
So
fast forward to today, most people are exposed to about 10,000, and they say they're pushing up on 20,000 messages a day.
I was literally just doing research on this last week. I'm doing a course. I'm writing a course right now. I'm creating a course for BCIT. And I was literally just doing research on this the other day, and the statistics were like blowing my mind when I was doing this exact research that you're talking about right now. Yeah. In the 1970s, it was like 500. And in today's world, it's like 5,000 plus.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We have no attention span anymore.
Yeah. And how can we? In my book, Didn't See It Coming, that's one of the things I talk about, is that people go catatonic because I talk about that we're always one operating system behind. Yeah. So that's not a bad thing. My phone, it updates and suddenly a button has moved. Last time we talked, we wanted to do this conversation, full disclosure, we wanted to do this conversation 2 weeks ago.
Facebook did not allow us.
Facebook said, no, you can't. Zoom doesn't connect to Facebook, and that's a Zoom problem. Turns out, thank God, the gods of YouTube instructed me on how to go into Facebook and reconnect it. Facebook just kicked the plug out. That's what they did. Assholes. Anyways, so people go catatonic because they're one operating system behind. And if it was your phone and the button switch, that's okay, because I can learn that. But it's not my phone. It's my TV. It's my remote control. It's my watch. It's everything. And you stack that up, and we're always one system behind.
We're constantly in a state of overwhelm 100% of the time.
I see my kids and my wife, my wife has got her phone on watching TV, and I'm going, well, that's two things you don't do really well. My boy has got a phone and his laptop and the TV on. I'm going,
I know.
You're screwed.
To be fair, the younger generation are better multitaskers than we are because they've literally grown up multitasking.
Bullshit. I think that what multitasking is that you can do multiple things really poorly. I would love to see the studies, and I know there are studies about actual engagement and deep thinking and reflection needed to formulate a decision based on information taken in. And I bet it's through the toilet.
So there's a podcast from a couple of years ago. I'll dig it up and send you the link on a podcast on, it's called Note to Self. And they did a series a couple of years ago about multitasking. And basically they did all the like research and stuff. And what they discovered that we should not be multitasking. We should be unitasking. And that unitasking is like a dead art, essentially, right? Yeah. But I just feel like I'm not being productive unless I'm multitasking.
Okay. That, you nailed it, right?
Right?
It's because somebody says,
well, too much stuff to do.
Well, I remember, it goes to everything. It's insidious. With our kid played soccer 2 times a week, and the parents whisper, he should be going 3 times.
Yeah.
And then so you do 3 times, and we had him up to 7 days a week. And then he decided that every soccer ball he saw, he was going to stick a knife into.
Yeah.
Because he hated soccer.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with us.
It's something that he loved and made it into a job.
Ruined it.
He hated it.
Now, that takes us back to Rebecca and what you're going to do first, second, and third. And when we last talked, I said the most important thing is to go out and talk to people and say, where do you want to hang out, and
what would you like?
Do cooking
from me. Yeah.
Yeah. What would you like from me? Because you have a following. So talk to them, and don't talk to them like that. Talk to them like that. Or even better, talk to them like this so you can see their eyes move.
Yeah, live streams, I think, are really powerful.
Talk to them, and they will tell you. And you know what? It's hilarious because about 100% of the time, when I start work with clients, they say, we should do this, and we should do this, and we should do this. And I go, how come? And that's where it's underpant gnomes, right? South Park. You remember that episode?
Yeah.
Do you? Right?
Underpant gnomes. South Park?
Yeah, South Park. Step 1, steal all the underpants. Step 2, step 3, profit. What's step 2? Step 1, steal all the underpants. Step 2, step 3, profit. Nobody knows step 2. And that's where it all falls apart. Everybody says, get all the social media.
Yeah.
Why? Profit. And you're like, but there's a why missing here.
And I think what happens so much, and I see this all the time as well, is that I think, something new comes along and it's shiny and we're like, oh my God, TikTok is cool. We should be on TikTok.
Everybody, right? TikTok.
Everybody go on Clubhouse, Mark. Everybody, we all gotta be on Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, I'm not saying I haven't been on Clubhouse. I'm not saying I haven't done stuff on Clubhouse. I absolutely 100% have. But also, like, do I personally need to establish a presence on Clubhouse because it's the latest, shiniest thing?
It's soccer practice.
Right?
It's one more night of soccer practice.
Yeah.
And eventually you're going to go back to writing on leather, right? With a rock or something. Okay.
Well,
now
on my ancient 2012 MacBook Pro, but yes.
Let's get to concrete stuff that we can do. And I'm going through this, and you're going through this, and everybody's going through this. So my recommendation in every single case is, let's talk to the folks who are buying stuff. In this case, buying cookbooks.
Right.
When you talk to them, you go, all right, you're sitting down and you're in the mood for cooking. Where do you go? What do you do? Where would you like to hang out with me?
Right.
And you're going to find that if you talk to 10, 20 people, and I would talk to at least 10 people, because if you get one or two, you could get some anomalies.
Yeah, for sure.
Talk to 10, the anomalies start to even out a bit.
Right.
So 10, 20 people. If you're doing a startup, they recommend talking to 75, because after 75, you know everything.
Okay.
I think it's true. So you talk to 10, 20 people, you start to go, okay, I'm hearing Facebook again and again and again and again. So let's focus on focus.
Right.
Let's do one thing really, really well. Now, there's always the temptation to do new stuff, because TikTok is where everybody's going who's doing recipes. There's TikTok gajillionaires who are 12 years old cooking brownies. I'm like, okay, fine. But if all your people are on Facebook, don't force them to learn a new operating system. Don't force them to follow you in a new place. Don't push them from one place to another place. Hey, you saw me here, but make sure to check me out there. Give them what they want.
Yeah.
Now, the second part is the good part. And this is what I'm going through with my client right now. Before our conversation, I wrote this email, said, this is what we're going to do. First thing, we focus on focus. The second thing, we shorten the distance between I talk to you and you buy something.
Right.
And believe it or not, I've been working with this client for quite a while now, and we have not set up a thing where it goes, I hear about you, I like you, bloop, I talk to a salesperson. We have not set that up. And I've been doing this for 30 years. And the reason we haven't set it up is because we were doing everything all at once. And so it's just this mess, and you can't see through the mess.
I think we get distracted by the shiny things and we forget about the low-hanging fruit. Like, I think one of the first rules of marketing is, where's the low-hanging fruit? 80-20 rule. Where's the low-hanging fruit? Where is it? I'll give you an example. I have a friend who is in Victoria, actually, and she just started working with this company, and they have, all the social media and stuff. And she said to them, what about your email list? And they were like, oh yeah, we have an email list. We're not using it. They sent out an email and made like $8,000 worth of sales. One email. Low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. 100% of my clients, that is the case. And so, I mean, it isn't any person's downfall or weakness or inexperience. I see that with the most experienced clients. I see that with every client. So we get distracted. We go all over the place. And part two, we don't focus on what's the shortest distance between a thing, an awareness, and I buy stuff.
And a conversion. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, guilty as charged. I had Kyle Guilfoyle on Tuesday, and we talked about content, because this guy has gone from just being a guy to now being all over Facebook and LinkedIn with really smart content.
Yeah.
And I'm going, Kyle, what did you do? And he said, well, I decided that I don't need to create a lot of content, but what I need to do is take each piece of content and figure out what works with people, what they want from me, and then take that one piece of content and use it 100 different ways. Like the First Nations with the buffalo, right? They kill one buffalo, they use every piece of the animal.
Yeah. It's working smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Right?
I take the opposite approach. I just cover the world in content. I've got 200 blog posts. I've got 100 podcasts. I've got 100 broadcasts on Brand DIY.
Yeah.
And I have never hooked all that stuff up to selling stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because it's all awareness and awareness.
Well, and also I think, you know, what we do in the digital marketing space is we talk all the time about you have to give value, right? Gary V, jab, 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 right hook, right? Like you have to give value, you have to give value, you have to give value. But I absolutely see myself sometimes that I get so caught up in giving value that I forget the right hook call to action. Like I forget to do it, right? So I'm not saying,
I mean, listen to
Gary
V. Gary V, what, I mean, oh, I freaking hate Gary V.
I was just going to say, I'm not the biggest Gary V fan. I'm just going to be clear about that. But I do really love that jab, 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 right hook analogy.
I got it right here. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, me too. I recommend it to all my students.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great book, but I hate the whole concept. If you want to be cool, you got to do 60 pieces of content a day.
Right.
I'm like, you don't have 60 pieces of smart a year.
Well, and also, can I just remind you, Gary frickin' V, sorry, I must have said a bad word there, has a team. He has a team of like 10 people making his content every day. Mark, you and I do not have a team of 10 people. It's just me.
Have you seen Gary V's content lately?
It's all like stylized and like graphically designed, and it's like super pretty.
They got a Gary V cartoon going, hey, the best marketing tool is caring. I'm like, thanks.
You said a bad word with your fingers. I like it.
I know, but what a douchebag. The best marketing is caring. I'm like.
And the eye roll was heard all around the world.
Anyway, so for all the Brand DIY listeners out there, with this whole thing with Kyle, where he said, take one piece of content that's working and parse it a whole bunch of ways. I'm starting to work with him. I found one piece of content, which is all about creating a 3-minute pitch.
Okay.
Dramatically reduced pitch. Everybody needs a pitch.
Everybody.
Hey, what are you selling? Here's what I'm selling.
Totally.
And I turned this thing, which was a workshop, and I got paid a lot of money to make this workshop.
Yeah.
And I turned it into a piece of content, and I looked on my Google Analytics, and it was 3 times the downloads over other pieces of content. I have hooked it up to nothing. So now I'm working with Kyle. How do I hook it up to a machine that says, you like this, buy something, you know? And that, I think, for all the brand DIYers, case in point, you're a social media specialist. You know this stuff, and you have this problem too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, if there's any sort of silver lining to this cloud, I'd say, talk to the folks who love you, who are buying your cookbooks or downloading your cooking recipes.
Yeah.
Say, where do you want to talk? Let's just talk in one place, so we can get in the habit of talking in one place.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that we could possibly talk about is analytics. So you just referred to it, right? Mm-hmm. How can you make your analytics work for you? So, I mean, I'm not saying that that's necessarily replacing doing surveys or talking to people or whatever that is, building a community. But what I am saying is that the data doesn't lie, and that's always very useful. So are you taking advantage of your analytics? So for example, when you go into, what I do is I go into Google Analytics and I look at my top blog posts. So I look at what are the blog posts that are the most, that are the ones that perform, and I have long tail results on my blog posts. So for me, the ones that perform the best are ones that are literally 5 years old. And so every once in a while, I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So I'm like, as I've been doing my refresh on my website, I've been making notes, and I'm like, you know what? This is one of my top, performing blog posts, but it has ugly pictures. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go remake that recipe, take sexy pictures, right? And replace the pictures that are on there with these new sexy pictures to make it more attractive. The other thing I'm going to do is any of those top performing blog posts, you better believe I'm going to put a link to buy my book on every single one of those top performing blog posts, right? Mm-hmm. So that when they're the #1 posts that are driving people to my site, when they get there and they're looking at their blog post, they're like, hey, by the way, you want to buy this cookbook, click, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then
so optimizing that for sales.
Yeah. And then I think that I'm doing that with Brand DIY, because now I've got BrandDIY.com, which has a whole bunch of power packs. People can buy it, and absolute crickets. So what's going on? Because I mentioned it here all the time. I've got 700 people in Brand DIY, should be enough to sustain some business. Crickets. So that's what I'm doing with Kyle. I'm still going too wide.
Yeah.
I'm giving them too much choice. I'm going to take one thing. So one thing.
So it feels like what we're saying, the sort of not conclusion, but sort of what we're saying, the gist of what we're saying is, and again, this is something that we say to our clients all the time, you got a niche it down, niche, like niche down as much as you possibly can. And I think people are afraid of niche, and I get it. They're afraid of niche because they're afraid if I niche and only appeal to this much of my audience, then what about all this big, huge audience over here that I'm ignoring? And you know, the reality is you're not ignoring the audience. They can still buy your stuff. But what you're doing is you're focusing your efforts on the people who are going to be the most interested in purchasing your product or service.
Yeah.
And that's a higher ROI for you. You're not going to spend as much money on ads. You're not going to spend as much time invested on things because you're connecting directly with the people that are most interested in what you have to buy.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. It's counterintuitive and it's very scary because I'd like to sell a can of Coke to everybody with a mouth. Right. But reality is I can't. So if I can get 10 people to buy my stuff 10 times, that's 10 times the amount of money I'm making now.
Yeah.
Because I'm not making any money trying to appeal to everybody. So we got to wrap this up. Where do we go to get your cookbooks?
Oh, Amazon.
Amazon. Give me the name of a cookbook.
So it's called Aqua Fabulous. And
Aqua Fabulous. I'm going to write that down.
Cookbook. It's a vegan cookbook. And I wrote it for all the people out there that have egg allergies. So there is this thing called aquafaba, and so talk about a niche inside a niche inside a niche. This is very nichey. So what you do is you take a can of beans, you open the can of beans. So you're going to make hummus, let's say. You open a can of beans, and that water that you would normally drain off and throw down the sink, that waste product, that is an amazing egg white substitute.
No way.
I'm not joking. You take it, you put it in a mixer, you beat it up in the mixer, and it fluffs up and makes meringue.
What? That's why fava, aqua fava is like fava bean.
F-A-B-A, faba.
Oh, F-A-B-A, okay.
Aqua fava. It is an amazing
black beans, kidney beans.
All of them.
Just so when I take the can of beans and I squeeze the lid and it drains the water out, that's egg white.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to learn anything good today.
Ladies and gentlemen, just blew Marc Stoiber's mind. Yes.
Oh my God. Now, crazy? Next thing you got to do Instant Pot recipes.
I love my Instant Pot.
I love it. I'm accessorizing like
Did you get the air fryer yet? I'm thinking about getting
last night I did air fried chicken. My wife laughs because I'm cooking and I love cooking and I never loved cooking because it was just like, but with the Instant Pot, it's like you get to be a nerd and cook.
I love it. I love my Instant Pot. It's amazing.
Yeah. And my wife loves that I love my Instant Pot too. It's like, and all this stuff, because I love doing stuff that we don't eat because, or haven't eaten before, because my wife has her routine stuff, which is great. But what I do, I'm never going to repeat. I'm going to keep trying stuff. We have kale growing in the backyard here.
Yeah.
And I hate kale. And so I took kale and I put it in the air fryer. First thing I ever did, salt it up, oil it up. Oh my good God.
Listen, let me tell you something. I have a child, when he was maybe 7 or 8, something like that. I made him kale chips for the very first time, and he would like ask for them after that. And I challenge you to find a 7-year-old that liked kale as much as my kid liked kale. Literally, he would say to me, Mom, you haven't made me kale chips in a really long time. Like, he would literally say that to me. Like, my child would ask for kale.
I know. Anyway, so I think the biggest learning from today is Instant Pot is awesome. Forget all the rest before. Okay.
Anything else not important, don't just ignore it.
Aqua Fabulous. I'm going to put that in the show notes. I'm going to drive people to Amazon.com to check out your cookbook. I hope this has been valuable for everyone. It's been valuable for me because I can't tell myself this stuff enough times because I keep making the same mistake.
I know.
And you're an expert in this and you make the same mistake. So
I call it, it's the shoemaker's children go barefoot is what I say. That's my life philosophy is basically the shoemaker's children I know all of this stuff, but you know, I'm the shoemaker and my kids go barefoot all the time.
Well, I certainly hope this has been helpful to you, and I hope it's been helpful to everybody listening in. So Aqua Fabulous, we're going to check it out. Rebecca Coleman, thank you so much for coming aboard. And let's we can start some brand DIY instant pot parties.
Yes. Oh my gosh, let's do that.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.